I would call that a bounce back game, but I think that would probably be underselling it. The San Antonio Spurs obliterate the Minnesota Timberwolves 133-95. They wiped the floor with them, but look, it ain't over yet. It's 1-1. Wheels up to Minnesota. We got a lot to talk about, so let's get into it right now.
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
I want some nasty.
It's going to get me every time. Hello and welcome back to Locked On Spurs. My name is Matthew Tynan. Thank you, as always, for making us part of your day. And a reminder that today's show is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. On the show today, we are going to get to, look, after the first segment, we're going to get to as many things as we possibly can about last night's game, about this series. I think Tyler, the producer's got a few observations he's going to throw my way. Also, we had a clip that kind of went viral from the show the other day, and it bothers me. And I guess we're gonna have to talk about it. I don't want to, but we're gonna have to talk about it. I guess I guess that's how things go in today's day and age. But first, last night, the San Antonio Spurs, thank you, take care of business against the Minnesota Timberwolves in the only way that they could have afforded to, in my opinion. Okay, maybe not a 40-point win or a 38-point win, but in convincing fashion. Tyler, mute your mic. You throw in these I want some nasties in here. The least you can do is mute your mic. All right, so the Spurs, They won in convincing fashion. Okay, maybe not 38. Maybe they didn't need the 38-point win or whatever, but they won in convincing fashion. And it's the way that they needed to come back and win a game two after what happened in game one, which was, compromised, I guess you could say, by a lackluster offensive performance from both Victor Wembanyama, from De'Aaron Fox. Sure, Victor Wembanyama had 12 blocks, but the perimeter defense wasn't very good. We all know the story by now. But what really struck me last night after the game, after a blowout of that magnitude, was the way the Spurs were reacting to the win. Look, San Antonio, prior to last night, had 34 home wins this season. 34 games San Antonio won in the Frost Bank Center this season. After basically all of those games, you can hear the hooting and hollering and laughing and yelling and clapping, and you can just hear Keldon Johnson permeating through the walls like he's sitting right next to you, because the locker room is behind a closed door that is like right across the hallway, a small hallway from the media interview room. So you can just hear everything after a game. And what stuck out to me last night was the relative quiet. You didn't really hear a lot of that said hooting and hollering. You might have heard like a little bit of Keldon, a few confident chirps, the kind of stuff that you would expect to hear, the kind of vibes you would expect to feel after a game like that. But what really stuck out to me last night was how businesslike these guys seemed after the game. Sure, they were thrilled with the performance they just had. It was more like the team they were accustomed to seeing out there. They came out aggressive, playing with their hair on fire. I mean, as physical and aggressive and intentional as I can ever remember them being this season. Kind of how it should be, right? When you're down 0-1 in the second round of the Western Conference playoffs against a team that a whole lot of people, and including myself, said is a tough matchup for you. That's the expectation, to come out like that. And last night, Victor Wembanyama, again, one of the businesslike players, came to the podium after the game, and a lot of times Victor will kind of chill back, relax with the mic. Sometimes he'll have a lot of fun. He'll wander around vocally, mentally, verbally. He'll wander around with fielding different questions, sometimes even throwing it back to the pack of media members in the room. Sometimes these are jovial, fun experiences, but Victor was concise in his wording. He was short and to the point. Look, he knew. You could just tell. It was time to get treatment. It was time to get rest. It was time to get out of that building because it was wheels up, like I said in the intro, wheels up to Minnesota for a game less than 48 hours from the time Game 2 ended. They all knew that. And when he was asked, and I thought that this was the quote of the night, frankly, when he was asked what the Game 3 approach was going to be like, how they were going to handle the fact that they had won a game so convincingly, especially after losing one in the first game of the series. Here's what Victor Wembanyama had to say about the mentality of the team heading into Game 3.
And we're going to watch film because, as Pop says, it's never... when you win, you're never as good as you thought you were. And when you lose, you're never as bad. Or rarely.
He finished it by saying, so obviously, stay humble and keep working. And that's what San Antonio has to do, because regardless of what we saw last night, it's still just 1-1. Whether it was a 60-point win or a 1-point win, this thing is still 1-1. And historically speaking, especially once you get into this stage of the postseason, when it's almost always only good teams remaining, historically speaking, home teams who are favored, who are higher seeds, home teams that lose Game 1 typically come back and blow out the visitors in Game 2. That's why the line in Vegas was so high yesterday. It's because this is what tends to happen. In a way, that's kind of a good indication or indication of a good basketball team. The sports books, analysts, well, some analysts, not all, certainly not all analysts, knew the Spurs were a good team and knew that what was likely on deck was a much more convincing performance from the home team, from the higher seed. And it dawned on me that as Victor invoked the Greg Popovich messaging, that not only is he sharing with this new group, this new wave of Spurs, but it's a mantra that's been kind of echoing through those hallways for decades now.
I want some nasty.
Well, that too. We'll get to that in a second. Hold on. Okay. It's something... Not the I want some nasty, but when you win, you're never as good as you thought you were. And when you lose, you're rarely as bad. That is another mantra that has been ringing through those hallways for decades. And we've already teased it about 1 million times now, but it wasn't the only Pop mantra, Pop saying that was invoked Wednesday, because San Antonio had to come out intensely to start Game 2. They had to. This was not a game to be messing around in. This was not a game to give Minnesota any sort of confidence toward the end of it, to be in a close game in the fourth quarter. And it reminded me of this. You all remember it, and Tyler's already played it about 1 million times on the podcast, but this is from the 2012 Western Conference Finals. They're playing the Thunder. It's in the fourth quarter of a game, and you all, well, maybe not all of you, but those of you old enough to remember, surely remember this like it was yesterday.
I need a little bit more dose of nasty. I'm seeing a little bit of unconfident, a little hesitation. It's not supposed to be easy. Every round gets tougher. Penetrate hard. Good passes. Shoot with confidence. I want some nasty. I want some nasty.
Everyone in that huddle Wednesday, from Mitch Johnson screaming up and down the sidelines, coaching his butt off. Almost got me there. Coaching his butt off to every player who touched the court. They were the ones initiating contact. They were the ones playing on their toes, keeping the Timberwolves on their heels. They were the ones who brought the fight and not the other way around. Even when the shots weren't falling early and the good process wasn't leading to the desired results, the Spurs kept shooting. They kept trying. They kept going with the process. They kept believing in everything that they were doing. Even Mitch Johnson said it after the game, quote, "I was frustrated because the ball wasn't going in the hoop early. But the process was there, and that's momentum in and of itself. You just got to believe it. And sometimes it's hard to believe it when the result isn't going your way. I think we did a good job, a strong way tonight, and that's probably what allowed the momentum to continue to increase. That's when the scoring follows." They kept with it last night. They started strong, lost zero of the confidence in their process, and it paid off in a big way with a 38-point win, putting a little bit of doubt heading back to Minnesota in the Timberwolves' mind, and a whole lot of confidence that the Spurs do indeed belong here. All right, up next, a whole bunch more observations from last night's game. Today's episode is brought to you by DoorDash. The postseason is heating up, and DoorDash has a way to keep fans in their bag the whole way through. Whether you're watching the highlights, the tunnel fits, or just your favorite player, DoorDash makes the entire season more fun. Because every player has their bag. With DoorDash, fans have one too. DoorDash keeps your snacks stocked, your gear fresh, and your watch party vibes absolutely on point. There are nights when your team stresses you out. I know a lot of you Spurs fans, and I know how stressed out you were the other night, so listen up. There are nights when your team stresses you out. Let DoorDash become your post-game therapy. Sometimes you just need dessert now. Those late-night interviews hit, and suddenly you need chips at midnight. DoorDash is built exactly for that. From tip-off to overtime, stay in your bag and order on DoorDash. Get snacks, drinks, gear, whatever gets you through the season delivered right to your door. DoorDash, in your bag all season long. Today's episode is also brought to you by Gametime. There's nothing like playoff basketball live. The intensity, the crowd, the rivalries. The NBA playoffs are where unforgettable moments happen, and being there in person just hits different. It was pretty fun in the Frost Bank Center last night, that's for sure. Gametime makes it incredibly easy to find tickets, even for those hard-to-get playoff games. In just a few taps, and with the Gametime guarantee, you know you're getting 100% authentic tickets on time at the best price. One thing I really like is that the price you see is the price you pay, and fees are included, so there is no surprising me at the checkout. How dare you, ticket companies? It's so annoying. The seat view feature is a game changer, too. You can actually see what your view will look like before you buy. And the zone deals are great. If you're trying to save, you pick the section, Gametime picks the seat, and you still get a great deal. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDON, that's locked on, for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Alrighty, Tyler, come on in. You're not behind the scenes anymore. Tyler, the producer, throwing the I want some nasties out there one more time.
I want some nasty.
Okay, there we go. You had, and thank you for now unmuting your mic.
Yeah. My mic was muted. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, whatever.
Made up.
Heard you
What's up?
chatting. All right, man. You had some observations. I saw it in the show rundown. What do you want to get to? Let me throw them your way. Which one do you want to get to first? I see De'Aaron Fox came out swinging. I see Stephon Castle relentless to the rim. I see Devin Vassell Mitarima. Okay, what is
For
that?
our anime fans.
Okay, let's start. I'm just gonna make the executive decision and start there. The Devin Vassell alley-oop three-pointer.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was crazy.
Was the
I've
most
never seen that in real life before.
I don't think I have either.
Yeah.
I don't think I have either. I had to do a double take because when I first saw it, and especially kind of from the view from the seats in the arena, you don't really get a full appreciation unless you're watching on TV.
Right.
And then I saw the clip when I was downstairs in the media workroom and I saw it on television. He catches the ball. It's like he was in the middle of his shooting motion. middle of his shooting motion. By the way, props to Julian Champagnie for putting it directly into the shooting pocket.
Yep.
He can't shoot the ball like that unless that pass is perfect.
On the money.
Yeah.
So there's an anime called Kuroko no Basket for those of you that are anime fans, and there's a character in it that basically is a shooter and can't miss, and they come up with a way for like an indefensible shot, and he literally jumps up, catches the ball, and shoots it all in one motion. Anyway,
well, someone sent me a GIF right after that, after I made a comment about it being
a soft G GIF person. That's crazy.
Well, that's what the creator calls it.
He's wrong. It's not graphics. Anyway,
I understand that. But and I'm totally with you. In a vacuum, I agree. But when the creator of something says it's one thing and not the other, I'm just gonna give him grace on that.
Sure.
I don't know, but I was sent a GIF or a GIF, if you prefer, or I could just call it a freaking GIF, and sent me that, and I just made a joke like, oh, so it has been done before. But I am not an anime connoisseur, so I am unaware of the goings on of the alley-oop 3-pointer that has existed in animation before. So, but anyway, I've never seen anything like that. It was a huge shot.
I think what's crazy about it, though, is in the show is like this is an example of a thing that would never actually happen in real life because it's so ridiculous.
Right.
And Devin Vassell pulled it off, so that's crazy. You mentioned Julian Champagnie on that beautiful pass. Julian Champagnie also had that stretch where he hit like 4 in a row and he's just laughing in Naz Reid's face. Like as he's like backpedaling down the court. It was
whenever Julian gets hot, man, it's like you better, and it doesn't always work, but you better get all the way up into his face because he's gonna be shooting it. And when it is so bizarre, I guess is one way to put it, but how similar he is to Danny Green. Not just in the play style, not just in the production, but like in the career arc. The being pulled off the free agent scrap heap, working your way up as a player for a team from the end of the bench all the way up into the rotation, then all the way up into the starting lineup, and suddenly you're a critical element for a team that's trying to make a finals run. Like the career arc between those two players is remarkably similar, and if it's any indication of what his career is going to become, you all know that Danny Green is always welcome in San Antonio whenever he comes around. So Julian Champagnie is paving a
champion. Danny Green.
Yeah, well, that's definitely a big part.
Yeah,
like I think you gotta make the deep runs in the postseason for years at a time. I don't even necessarily know if like you have to win a title to be granted such honors as Salsa Verde used to get. But yeah, he's on his way, man. Like he is on his way.
Yeah. Love Julian Champagnie. Crazy that the Sixers cut him so they could put Mac McClung in the dunk contest in a Sixers uniform. I've been seeing it pop up a bunch on Instagram.
It's a very Sixers thing to do because that is a guy that literally any team could use. You know, and who knows if he would have thrived the same way with them as he has in San Antonio, but probably not.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty remarkable, and a great find by that front office. I mean, they were all over that. They stuck with him, and he's now playing on like probably the best contract in the NBA.
Oh yeah, that's
considering the production that they're getting.
More expensive.
He's gonna get a lot more expensive. There's no question about that. Yeah. That's what's next. What's next?
Oh, we're working backwards. So Stephon Castle last night just being relentless going to the rim, like not taking no for an answer. He was 9 of 9 from the free throw line. And I thought when the refs like look back at that play with Bones Highland and like retroactively gave him a foul was silly because they were like hand fighting right before that. Like it should have been a no call and a tech. Anyway,
I think they had to probably do a little bit of something. I thought they got that right, but that I don't care about the officiating. The thing that first of all, 9 of 9 from the free throw line. Like, Steph hasn't been this exemplary free throw shooter this season. He's gotten better as the season's gone on.
One of the things he has to work on is free throw shooting.
Especially if he's going to initiate this level of contact. But it wasn't just Steph Castle was great in that capacity, and he drew a number of fouls on Jaden McDaniels, and Jaden McDaniels again in foul trouble. Anthony Edwards said after the game, by the way, that if Jaden McDaniels is in foul trouble, if he has to be off the court, they're going to lose the series straight up. And I agree with him. Like, that is a guy who absolutely cannot get in foul trouble. And I thought the Spurs were, it's not just smart, like in terms of attacking him, but it's the way they attacked him. And it's the way that, like, they weren't doing so with sort of wasted energy or anything like that, whether it was Steph Castle attacking the rim, Keldon Johnson, who was a maniac last night in both like good and bad ways. The Keldon Johnson experience last night was a roller coaster. Unbelievable
defense.
But it was on a different level last night. It was like a couple of times down the floor, it's like, why do you look like Keldon Johnson of 5 years ago, like a bull in a china shop, just crashing into people. And then on the other side of the court, he's playing some of the best individual defense he's played like in his career. He's rebounding at a rate that he's never really rebounded in his career. He had the highest plus minus on the team last night. He was plus 28 when Keldon Johnson was in the game. So that speaks for itself. Keldon Johnson was all over the place. But I digress. I thought that not only Steph was great with the dribble penetration and attacking a Jaden McDaniels, attacking the rim in general, but De'Aaron Fox right off the bat. And we might as well just move into this.
He came out swinging.
He came out swinging.
Not even that he was trying to score every time he went in, but getting 2 feet in the paint, initiating the offense, and doing it early. Because, like, it's great when he does it in the fourth quarter. Obviously, we need him to do that late in the game. But if you start doing it early, now they're thinking about it all game instead of not worrying about it till later.
Yep. It was a relentless paint attack last night. It was what needed to be done. On top of that, they really jump-started their offense with their defense. Their perimeter defense was on fire last night, whether it was double teaming, trapping, just one-on-one defense against dribble drive penetration. They were getting all the way up into the guys that they were guarding, not allowing for the dribble penetration, forcing turnovers. I think they had six turnovers in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And the transition from offense to defense was on point. They were pushing the pace as much as they possibly could against Minnesota's defense, not letting them get set, attacking before they could. They were really doing a good job utilizing the screen game to free up guys like De'Aaron and Steph. And I just thought last night was a masterful performance. They played the exact way they needed to play. And they also brought a little bit of nasty to the equation. I think that
I want some nasty.
There we go. Okay. Well, a couple of days ago, I said something. I made an offhand comment on this podcast, and it turns out it kind of went viral, and I keep getting texts about it and messages about it, and I just don't want to talk about it, but we're gonna talk about it because I think it does need to be talked about just a little bit. We're doing that next.
You ever watch a game and think, I need to know what these fans are saying about this team right now? On Reddit, you're plugged into millions of fans who are just as hopeful, dramatic, analytical, and loyal as you are. The Reddit app is for authentic conversations about anything and everything. I love that there are different team subreddits for every single NBA team, so I know that if the Knicks are dominating the Hawks like in that game the other day, you can go right to the Hawks subreddit and say, how much are they breaking down and crashing out right now? I can go straight to the NBA one and see all kinds of great things. Reddit is where real fans hang out. Download the Reddit app and dive into your favorite team or the Mavericks subreddit for hot takes, fresh memes, and the group chat that literally never sleeps. Download the Reddit app today.
All right, Tyler.
Hello. So,
What did I say?
what day was it? Was it it must have been Tuesday, right? So Tuesday,
Yeah.
you kind of made an offhand comment about being at practice, and did someone tell you, or did you see Pop go in to do film study
No,
with the
we
team?
were okay. The other day I said that I just made an offhand comment. I said, by the way, Pop was at the practice facility. They had film, and he was in the film room with the guys, with the players, the coaching staff, and it's always good to see Pop at the practice facility. Like,
Yeah.
that's the gist of what I said.
Exactly.
And like since then, and I keep getting texts because I'm just not I don't keep up with stuff on Facebook and Instagram and stuff. I really don't. And I get like this deluge of messages and texts, and then I'm being tagged and stuff, and like saying that Pop was involved, Pop was running the film session, Pop was in control of the practice on Tuesday, and I'm just like, whoa. and it's not even too big a deal, because it's cool to see Pop remaining involved. Like, first
Absolutely.
and foremost, it's really cool to see Pop recovering from the stroke he suffered a year and a half ago, and being back in the fold with the team. I mean, and remember, he's the president of basketball operations.
Yeah.
He is around that facility regularly. Like, he is a person who has the ear, or whose ear has been had by players and coaches. Like, he's around these guys, this team. He's around all of them. And that day, he walks out of the film room. The players, shortly after the film room, they come over and talk to us, said they had film that day, and it was like, oh, well, that's nice. And I just made a comment about it. And suddenly it just blew up, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, Pop is responsible for all this. And it's, like I said, it's fun. It's cool to see him in the mix. The thing that started to frustrate me was like the way it's being translated makes it sound like Mitch Johnson and his staff aren't in control of the group. Like, they're not being afforded the opportunity to coach or whatever.
Yeah.
This is Mitch Johnson. It's his operation.
Yeah.
It's Mitch Johnson and Sean Sweeney and Mike Noyce and Matt Nielsen, like this, and Corliss Williamson. Like, this is their staff. But I'm not going to give it any more air. I just wanted to clear that up, because I was getting.
So
I didn't want to hear from somebody from the Spurs being like, "What rumors are you
Why are you
starting?"
starting
I'm like,
rumors?
I didn't say anything. I just said Pop was up at the
And-
practice facility, as he is, like, frequently, the president of basketball operations.
So it was funny to see. I don't even remember which post I saw first, but I swiped right.
Who
and
knows,
saw-
man?
Jumped scared on my face. Was like, what? Why
Pick
am I?
the aggregator. Pick an aggregator. It was out there.
But it's funny to see like what the front slide says, and then like listen to us talk, and it's like, we didn't say that at all.
Right.
What are you?
Right. I know. I know.
But
It's
also,
okay.
like you said, Pop is the president of basketball still for the San Antonio Spurs. It's not
He is.
uncommon for him to be at the practice facility. And I feel like Coach Pop being there after the loss was more about like morale than it was about.
I don't even know. No, just
You
stop
know?
talking.
Oh,
I don't
stop.
even know what it was. He was just there. I don't like, and,
Yeah.
and it's always good to, like, especially when it's this intense, and the postseason is such high stakes, and there's all of this attention swirling around that, like, it's just good to have a guy like that who's been there before around the team. Same with Manu Ginobili. Same with Tim Duncan. Same with all these guys that are up there and around the team regularly. So, yeah, I don't know. It like, there you go. Look, like, they're always around,
Always.
And so I don't know. I don't even want to say it like it was some morale boost. I think, I think it's even more of a like, this is fun, huh?
Your point is it's not a big deal at all because he's there all the time.
He's there pretty frequently. So
and a mainstay in the organization and in the city of San Antonio. So
that is correct.
Yeah.
Anyway, did we just spend a full segment talking about that?
Nah, sure. Yeah, give or take.
Okay, all right. Real quick before we get out of here, because I didn't want to spend a whole segment on this. Key to Game 3. It's the same thing. Same thing. We'll talk a lot more about Game 3 tomorrow. But, man, if they can bottle up, just keep playing the sounder if you want to. You just stopped playing the sounder once you came on.
I want some nasty.
Like, beforehand, you were
distract me, just you.
Oh, I see. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. No, if they're able to bottle that up, everything that they did to approach that game last night, it's going to be a hell of an environment in Minnesota. That's a really difficult team they're playing. San Antonio has not won in Minneapolis in their last 7 tries. That's a lot. That is a lot. So they have their hands full. I mean, I guess they haven't won there in like 4 years, 5 years. Whatever.
In fairness, the 3 previous seasons to this, we had a combined 70 wins. So.
Oh no, I understand. Yeah, different team. There's no question about that. But like I remember that game earlier this year. They got out to a 16-0 lead in that game. San Antonio did, and they ended up losing. Coughed up a lead late. Yeah, it's a tough place to play, and that's a tough team, and they're going to be ready to go. I will say, I don't think Anthony Edwards looks right. I just don't.
He's definitely not like 100% for sure.
He does not have the explosiveness, and I've heard people talk about like, well, the longer this series goes on, the more chance he'll get to get healthy. And my thought process is like, these dudes are playing every other day in this series. Is he ever gonna get a chance to get healthy in this series? Like, is he going to get that explosiveness back? I don't know. He has superpowers, so I'm not going to doubt him. But it is certainly something to watch because he definitely does not look quite like his explosive self. And here's the other thing about the Timberwolves. Again, one last point before we get out of here. The biggest indictment of that team this season has been their inconsistency, just all season. They've had nights where they look like the best team on the planet, and then they have nights where they look like a lottery team. It has been a roller coaster ride for them this season. And here's the sort of the sneaky little detail that makes it even weirder. They've been the healthiest team in the NBA this season. They have the fewest games lost due to injury, meaning like cumulative number of games missed by players on the roster. Fewest games missed due to injury in the entire NBA. So all of this inconsistency has been while they've been largely healthy, healthier than any other team in the NBA. The Spurs, on the other hand, a model of consistency, like remarkably consistent this season. You got to be consistent, man. But at the same time, you never know when the Timberwolves are just going to pop off.
Yeah.
That's why this series, to me, the rest of the way is going to be fun, and I don't know which way to take it right now. I know my initial prediction was Spurs in 7, and I guess I'm just going to keep it that way.
Spurs in 6, baby.
It might be that. It might be that too. Might be Spurs in 5. Who knows, man?
Spurs in 3.
That would be remarkable. Thank you for making Locked On Spurs your first listen, where we cover the San Antonio Spurs every single day. Subscribe and follow us wherever you get your podcasts so you get all the latest episodes. And remember, after every game, you can join Casey Vieira and Devin Brown on the postcast on this channel. You can find me on Twitter at Matthew_Tynan and over at the Corporate Knowledge newsletter. That's MatthewTynan.substack.com. New article up this morning. Please go check it out. Hope you enjoy. We're really getting back to writing, which means I'm going to be writing and podcasting and going to Spurs games, and that is about it. And I might just fall asleep on my face on stream one of these days. Okay, you're right, Pop. You're right. I got to keep bringing it. Tyler, where can they find you and your nasty self?
Oh God. You can find me on Instagram at Tyler Prince Film or over on Substack at thevideoman.substack.com.
Okay. Have you never missed an episode? And why would you? Folks, why would you ever miss an episode? If you never miss an episode, the Everydayer Club is built just for you. Get Locked On Spurs ad-free. Head to lockedonspurs.supercast.com to join the club. On video, we send you to the first ever 24/7 National NBA YouTube channel. On audio, make sure you make your second listen NBA game night on Locked On NBA. For Tyler Prince, for Greg Popovich. No? Okay. For Tyler Prince, I'm Matthew Tynan. I was waiting for the sound. He didn't play it. Just leaving the scene before the show is even over. My name is Matthew Tynan. I'll talk to y'all later.